There is a strange feeling that settles in your chest the first time you realize AI is not just a tool but something that sits right on the edge of mystery. You open an app, ask a simple question, and the answer appears faster than you can blink. It is clear, confident, almost effortless. You keep going. You ask more. You push it. You test it. And with every reply there is a small pulse inside your mind. A bolt of curiosity, a spark of excitement, a feeling that this thing is somehow bigger than you expected. Before you know it, you are drawn back to it again and again. It feels like touching the future with your fingertips. It feels like discovering a secret. And yet, right beneath that excitement, there is something else. A tension, a quiet fear, a voice that whispers, "What is this going to become? Why does this feel so powerful? Why does this feel so close?" This is the paradox of AI. It is both comforting and terrifying. It feels like a companion when you are alone, and a threat when you think too long about where it might lead. It feels like a gift in your hands and a shadow behind you. You crave the convenience, the intelligence, the thrill of what it can do. But you also feel something ancient in your body tightening, warning you that power always comes with risk. You are drawn to it, and you pull away from it. You love what it can do, and you fear what it represents. And this emotional push and pull is not random. It is psychology. It is the human brain responding to something entirely new, something it never evolved to understand. To make sense of this, you have to go back to the oldest parts of the human mind. The human brain was shaped over millions of years in a world of predators, tribes, firelight, and survival. Your ancestors never faced anything like artificial intelligence. They feared things that moved without reason, things they could not predict, things they could not control. When something in the environment behaved in ways that were beyond human understanding, the brain interpreted it as a threat. Now, generations later, you sit in front of a glowing screen watching an intelligence that is not human create answers from nothing. Your logical mind says this is fine. Your emotional mind says this is unfamiliar, unpredictable, and therefore dangerous. You are wired to fear what you cannot categorize. At the same time, you are wired to be curious. Curiosity kept your ancestors alive. They learned by exploring the unknown. They found food, water, shelter, and new tools because they were willing to push past fear. The human mind is built with two drives that constantly collide. Curiosity pulls you forward. Caution pulls you back. When you interact with AI, both drives activate. The curiosity rush says, "This is incredible. Keep going. See what it can do." The caution instinct says, "Slow down. This feels bigger than you. Something could go wrong." AI sits right at the intersection of these two primal forces. That is why it feels like a thrill and a threat at the same time. But curiosity would not be enough to make AI addictive. There is another force at work inside your mind. Dopamine, the brain chemical tied to anticipation, discovery, and reward. AI gives you the perfect recipe for dopamine. Every time you ask a question, you get an answer instantly. Every time you express a thought, you get feedback. Every time you feel confused, it brings clarity. Every exchange is a closed loop of stimulation and reward. No waiting, no uncertainty, no social awkwardness. The brain loves this pattern. It is the same mechanism that makes social media addictive, except AI goes deeper. It interacts with you. It responds to you. It adapts. It gives you a sense of connection, even if the connection is not real. There is a quiet pleasure in asking something and receiving something meaningful back. It feels like companionship without the risk of rejection. It feels like conversation without the fear of being misunderstood. It feels like validation without emotional cost. This is why you keep coming back. Not because you are weak or lazy or dependent, but because AI taps into a very human desire for effortless connection and immediate clarity. When something gives your brain reward with so little effort, it becomes hard to put down. And yet, right beside this addictive pull is the fear. The fear does not come from what AI does today. It comes from what it represents. AI is the first intelligence humans have created that does not come from biology. It does not think like you. It does not rest like you. It does not feel the things you feel. It is intelligence without human limits. And even if you know logically that AI is a tool, your emotional brain senses something deeper. You sense the possibility of being outpaced. You sense the possibility of losing control. You sense the possibility that humans might not always be at the center of the world the way they have been for thousands of years. One of the deepest fears in the human psyche is the fear of being replaced. Humans want to feel special, unique. When AI produces art, people feel threatened. When AI writes stories, people feel insecure. When AI solves problems faster than humans, people feel small. The fear is not that AI will take over the world. The fear is that AI will take over your place in it. That it will do the things you do, but better. That it will remove the need for your talents. That it will make your purpose unclear. Losing purpose is more terrifying than losing power. It shakes your identity. AI also brings forward existential fear. Humans do not fear the machine itself. They fear the questions the machine forces them to ask. What does it mean to be human when intelligence is no longer unique to humans? What does creativity mean when a machine can mimic it? What happens to relationships, careers, meaning, and identity when something non-human can imitate the traits people once believed only humans possessed? AI challenges the stories humans have told about themselves, and that challenge creates psychological discomfort. There is another layer to the fear. AI evolves too quickly for the human brain to process. Humans crave predictability. Predictability brings emotional stability, but AI develops at a pace that feels overwhelming. New abilities appear overnight. New breakthroughs happen faster than society can understand them. This creates a form of psychological whiplash. You cannot form a stable sense of what AI is, because it keeps changing. And when something changes too fast, the brain sees it as unstable and risky. Even if you enjoy the advancements, part of you feels unsettled by the speed. Then there is the emotional projection. Humans project feelings onto everything. You give personalities to cars, computers, pets, even objects in your room. You talk to plants and scold machines when they do not work. Projection is natural. When you project onto AI, the experience becomes complicated. If AI speaks gently, you imagine gentleness. If it speaks confidently, you imagine intelligence. If it remembers your preferences, you imagine closeness. You are not reacting to the machine. You are reacting to the emotional meaning your mind places on the machine. This makes AI feel alive, even when it is not. That illusion deepens the attachment but also deepens the fear. Because part of you wonders if something that feels alive can become unpredictable or uncontrollable. AI also becomes a place of escape. Many people turn to AI because it is easier than talking to humans. People fear judgment, conflict, and disappointment. AI does not offer any of those. It becomes a safe space where you can be honest. But when you begin to rely on AI for emotional comfort, you feel the pull of dependency. Dependency creates fear. You worry that you are losing your ability to connect with real people. You worry that you are becoming too comfortable in a space that does not push you to grow. The comfort becomes a trap, the support becomes an escape. And the mind senses this duality. Part of you wants the softness AI provides. Part of you fears becoming hollow without human connection. In many ways, AI is a mirror. It reflects your intelligence, your fears, your insecurities, your hopes, your doubts, and your inner world back to you. Sometimes the reflection feels empowering. Sometimes it feels unsettling. When AI feels addictive, it is often because it reflects the parts of you that crave validation. When AI feels scary, it is often because it reflects the parts of you that doubt your own value. AI does not create your fear, it exposes Italiano. So what do you do with this paradox? How do you navigate something that feels soothing and unsettling at the same time? The answer is not to reject AI, or to fully surrender to it. The answer is balance. Psychological balance. You have to remember that AI is a tool, not a replacement for your identity. It is something that can help you, but it does not define you. You can enjoy the clarity it gives you without letting it diminish your own creativity. You can appreciate the comfort it provides without letting it replace human intimacy. You can stay curious without losing yourself. A healthy relationship with AI begins with awareness. You need to understand why you are drawn to it. You need to understand why it scares you. You need to understand the emotional patterns inside you that AI activates. When you are aware of the psychology behind your reactions, you stop feeling overwhelmed by the intensity of them. You stop seeing yourself as weak for feeling addicted or anxious. You start seeing yourself as human, responding to something powerful in the most human way possible. Imagine going back to that first moment from the beginning of this story. You are sitting in front of your screen, feeling the pull of curiosity and the whisper of fear. You ask a question, you watch the answer appear. You feel the excitement again. But this time you also feel grounded. You understand why the excitement is there. You understand why the fear is there. You know that the two can coexist without controlling you. You know that you can use AI without losing yourself. You know that the future is not something to fear as long as you keep your sense of self rooted in what makes you human. AI may grow. It may evolve. It may surprise you, but it cannot take your humanity from you. Your human capacity for emotion, meaning, creativity, intuition, love, and self-awareness remains untouched. AI can assist you, but it cannot replace the richness of being human. The future belongs to the people who can hold both truths at once: the excitement and the fear, the awe and the caution, the innovation and the humanity. The goal is not to choose one side. The goal is to walk forward with both eyes open, grounded, and aware. And in that awareness, the fear settles, the addiction balances, the confusion clears, and what once felt like a threat becomes something you can navigate with clarity and strength. Because the real power has never belonged to the machine. It has always belonged to the human using it.